Welcome. If you're listening to this, chances are you care about staying active, or you've had a recent reminder of how quickly that can change, often due to pain. Most people don't see it coming. They're coping, carrying on, and doing what they've always done, until one ordinary moment becomes one step too far.
Welcome to the 3 Rules to Stay Active for Life. I'm Gavin Routledge, a lifestyle medicine professional, osteopath and author. And in this podcast, I'll share a few simple frameworks to help you suffer less pain and feel more confident about your current and future health. What if the way you think about your health matters as much as what you do? Up to this point, we've talked about measuring patterns, reducing load, calming the nervous system, understanding the pain equation, and optimizing the conditions your body is working in. But there's another layer to all of this, and it's quieter. It's the story you tell yourself about what's happening and what's possible in the future. Now, we've been using the cliff of pain metaphor throughout this series. Most people don't suddenly fall into pain or ill health. They're quietly pushed closer to the edge over time. Remember those risk factors? But here's something interesting. 2 people can be standing in exactly the same place on that cliff and experience it very differently. One might think, I'm fragile, my body's unreliable, I'm always one step away from disaster. And the other thinks, I've drifted a bit closer than I'd like, but I know how to move back. Same cliff, very different experience because the story is different. And that results potentially in a very different trajectory. You see, your brain is fundamentally a prediction machine. It is constantly asking, what's likely to happen next? Am I safe? How much energy should I spend? Should I protect or should I explore? And it answers those questions based largely on the story it believes about you. If the story is, my back is damaged, my knees are worn out, every flare-up means I'm getting worse, then the brain will predict threat more easily. And when the brain predicts threat, it increases protection, and that often means more pain. It also means more muscle tension, more vigilance, more attention to your symptoms, and less confident movement. Which, if you remember the pain equation, increases negative mind state, attention, and perceived threat. And that shifts the balance towards more pain. Now let's be clear, this is not about positive thinking. It's not about pretending that pain or suffering isn't real. Pain is real, but the meaning you attach to pain really does matter. Beliefs about pain and capability are strongly associated with movement confidence and recovery trajectories, i.e. whether you're going to get better or worse. So what you believe about your body influences how you use it, and how you use it influences what happens next. Let's go back to the wasp sting story for a moment. Remember when I worried about an anaphylactic reaction? The pain went up. The tissue hadn't changed, but the story had. When I focused on cycling confidently and navigating traffic, the pain went down. Again, the tissue hadn't changed. The predicted level of threat had. This is where relate connects very closely to the 3rd rule. Keep the end in mind. Now, before I dive into that, I'm just going to double back and say, essentially, what I'm carving out here is 2 interpretations of the word relate. We've got relate, i.e. the story that you tell yourself. And then we've also got relate, making sure that you're relating everything to the long-term goal. And that is the 3rd rule, keep the end in mind. If your long-term aim is to stay active for life, to move confidently into older age, then the story you relate to yourself has to be consistent with that direction. If your story is, I'm broken, that doesn't lead to confident movement. If your story is, I'm rebuilding, That's different. It doesn't deny difficulty, but it does frame it very differently. And this isn't just about pain. It's about your whole identity. Do you see yourself as someone managing a failing body, or someone learning how to strengthen and protect it? Those two identities lead to very different behaviours over time. Your brain acts in line with the story it believes about your future. If it predicts decline, it conserves and protects. If it predicts growth, it invests and adapts. Now, these aren't just words, this is reality, and in future episodes, I will dig into the science behind all of this. But at this point, we're just staying high level. Now, here's something important. Relate doesn't mean ignoring warning signs. It doesn't mean pushing through recklessly. That would violate the first rule. Use it or lose it, but don't abuse it. Instead, relate is about making sure your internal narrative, the story you tell yourself, matches the direction you actually want to travel in. If you're moving back from the edge, your story should reflect that. If you've reduced risks, improved sleep, built consistency in movement, your story should include those wins. Otherwise, the brain will keep predicting threat based on outdated information. So here's something practical you can try. Over the next few days, notice something that you say to yourself about your body. It might sound like, my back's always flaring up, I can't trust my knees, oh, I'm just getting old. Don't fight it, just notice it at this stage. And then ask, is that the most accurate description? Or could you reframe it as something more neutral, but true? For example, my back flares when I overload it and settles when I manage it well. My knees feel better when I keep them strong. I'm adapting to the stage of life. Small shift in story, but very different prediction. And when you change the prediction, your behaviour changes. And when you change your behaviour, your trajectory changes. And of course, that's what determines how far you are from the edge. So relate is about aligning your internal story with your long-term direction. It's about making sure the story you're living inside supports the future you're trying to build. Because remember, optimization changes conditions, but relating changes identity. And identity is what sustains the change. So as we finish this episode, it's worth asking yourself, what is one small shift in perspective that might help you move a little further back from the edge? In the next episode, we'll explore something that often gets overlooked in serious health conversations, enjoyment, and why staying active for life is much easier when it actually feels good. If today's episode sparked a shift in how you think about your body or your health, don't try to change everything at once. Choose one small action this week, something that nudges you towards staying active rather than avoiding discomfort. That's how confidence is rebuilt. You'll find further episodes exploring the 3 rules and the habits that matter most, not by doing more, but by doing things better. This program is provided for general information only and should not be taken as medical advice. If you have persistent or worsening symptoms, please seek appropriate medical guidance.